Hello! It's time already for a new bullet journal setup. It's July! Wow, 2020 is halfway through. Can you even believe it? Me neither. I'm slowly starting to believe what adults tried to tell me when I was a child, that time goes faster the older you become. I'm sure that you can relate. Anyways, after my time crunch June setup, I approached July a little more, let's say, relaxed. I always plan out the compositions, or rather scribble small little drafts in thumbnails before sketching it out in my bullet journal. This time I had a rough idea of the theme, but no precise layout or color scheme. The only thing I really prepared, and that was really different from all of my other setups, were the weekly pages, but I get to those later. Now, what's July all about? For me, it's D&D. Yay! If you're following me on Instagram, you might have seen my latest illustration of my druid character Una. By painting a portrait of her, I said goodbye, since we're starting a new campaign soon, for which I created someone new. Look out for next week's illustrations so that you won't miss my new character. Besides, I'm currently listening to the Critical Role podcast, as well as the Adventure Zone, for like the third time. I'm really hyped and ready to play again, but before that I needed this new setup and ta-da! Made it all about D&D. And the moon, kind of. Because I like to draw the moon and it's rather easy to incorporate it in a fantasy setup. So for the front page I thought the D20 would make a nice full moon between other moon phases. It's not as easy as I thought to draw this dice. I needed a few attempts. But then I outlined everything with micron pens, and at this point I hadn't even decided yet if I even wanted to use color on it. But only outlined, everything looked rather boring and too flat for my taste, so I took my favorite blue ink and painted the easy yet effective blotches I so often do. My monthly overview and sleep tracker stayed the same as always. In the background I painted a night sky battle map in case you didn't recognize the checkered pattern as such. I never fought a battle in clouds yet, but I'm sure that it would be possible because imagination. Oh, and I decided to paint the frame of the front page after I smudged a little ink on there. The Habits and Mood Tracker spread was the least planned of them all. I knew that I wanted kind of a magic circle with a D20 in the middle, but everything around it I constructed on a whim while sketching it out. The most tedious thing was to trace the pencil lines with masking fluid so that they'd be similar in boldness. The small little dots, or stars if you want, I don't use the bristles but the wooden tip of my brush to create perfect little drops. When all that dried, I simply went over it with the ink. Now for the complicated part. As I said, I plan out my setups in little thumbnails in my notebook. Most of the time, the weekly spreads are the easiest or least elaborate of them all. But this time, I wanted them to look like little character sheets. Therefore, I sketched out a little test page, copied it, and traced it with help of my lightbox onto my Bujo pages, so that I didn't have to measure and design the thing for all 4 weeks all over again. Then, outlining was time-consuming, but really easy. And that's it, D&D July 2020. For photos of the setup, myself and all my weekly illustrations, follow me on Instagram, and if you want to see the references I use, head over to my Pinterest. And subscribe to my YouTube channel, that would be really nice. I wish you all a nice July and see you next week. Bye!